Alright, this is our quadratic formula, and a part of it has a special name, and that part is called the discriminant. The discriminant is this piece right here because it discriminates for you how many answers you can expect. Let me explain that a little bit to you. If everything inside of this thing came out to be a zero value, for instance, let's say you got the square root of 0 in there. When you have a 0 value in there, adding and subtracting 0 does nothing. And so you don't get two answers, you just get one answer because there's not an adding and a subtracting. So when there's a 0 in the discriminant, you get one answer. Now, let's show you how that changes if we get a different type of situation in there. So let's say in that value, in that discriminant, we get something that's more like a positive value. So we'd get the negative of b plus or minus. Let's say we got something positive in there, like 15 or 7 or whatever. Well, when you take the square root of that positive value, you are going to get, one relationship where you're going to add that square root of a positive and one relationship where you'll subtract that. So when you get a positive number inside of there, when you get a positive number inside the discriminant, you always get two answers because it's going to add the square root of that number and it's going to subtract the square root of that number. Now, the last case of what could go inside of there would be a negative. Now, at this stage, the square root of a negative does not create what we call a real number. In other words, if you had a value like you had the negative b plus or minus the square root of a negative number, like negative 5 or negative 6 or negative 15, that, for you and I, would cause us some serious trouble. In other words, when you have a negative value in there, you get no real solutions. None. Because the square root of a negative number does not produce a real answer. Now, let me just maybe quickly give you the visual picture. So why would you get one solution? In other words, why would that happen? Here's why that would happen. If you were solving and you hit the vertex, that's why you might get one answer. That's what's happening there. If you solve and you get two answers, this is what's happening right here. You are getting two answers. The positive value makes this work. And why would you get no answers? It'd be something like this. These two things do not actually intersect. There is no answer. And so it makes sense that you might get none. Let me show you some examples on how to do this. So the discriminant is just simply this piece right here. And all you're going to determine is if you get a 0, a positive, or a negative. And that's going to inform you how many answers you can expect when you solve the problem. So let's try this out. B squared would be negative 2 squared minus 4 times the A times the C. And in this case, I get 4 minus 12 gives me negative 8. What that means, I can expect zero answers is what I can expect. None. Right? Because a negative doesn't work for us. Let's try another one. If I do b squared minus 4ac, I get 16 minus 32. I also get a negative here. I would expect no answers here. So again, what's taking place is I'm asking for a value that that particular parabola does not even intersect with. Let's try this last one. B squared would be negative 4 squared minus 4ac. I get 4 minus 4, which comes out to be 0. 0 means I will expect one answer when I get that. Maybe let me just do one where I get two answers. Let me just put one on here and we'll try it. Again, I'm going to test b squared minus 4ac. And I get a 36 minus a 32. I get a 4 value. Again, that 4 value in there acts as a positive. And when you have a positive in that location, you get the plus and the minus. So we can expect two answers here. Determining answers is not solving it. It's just asking how many answers do you expect.